Okay, so now I play with it, I readjust my mapping, and it should be working better with the UV-UNW unwrap. So, well, let's have a look at what it looks like. So I did my character, I did put it all into one background, which is this picture over here. And if you look onto my screen, as you can see now, you can see Mr. Jiggle with an actual face. So now if you look at all the entire animation, this is like, I did add the camera, I did add some lights, as you can see. Two spotlights that's going to follow Mr. Jiggle, which is used by doing the link, the famous link. Okay, so over here and target link, so it's going to be moving at the same time. I only have one camera, just to show you very quickly how to do that. I added some fill light, very simple. It's just that it's going to be showing the screen over here. So if I go like over here and I just put them lights properties, press them off, you can see it's very dark. So if I'm going to press them on. And that's the main thing. Now what we're going to do is just like, okay, you have the animation. Let's have a look at it. Boom. Oops, sorry. I'll activate this guy. Go back. Boom. So this is a very quick way. And then yes, I need to fix my camera and all that. I need to have at least three cameras. And there we go. So it looks pretty good. So now you want to render this thing. You want to send it as a movie. So here's what we have to do. You can press onto F10, or you can go to rendering, click onto this, and it says, whoops, render setup, click onto that. This again, you might be having to look at this very often. So in this case, what you want to do is that when you press onto F9, it does a single frame. You want to make sure that you activate time segment 0 to 40. Yes, I got 240 frames. That's perfect. I want to have the area to render as the view. The size, I keep it as that because it's just faster. I don't change anything over here except at this part of the city. Over here it says render output. Click onto this file, and I've already done a few part of it. And I'm going to go back to my 3ds Max, and then there is an actual folder created for you. Render output. Double click onto that. I'll click over here. I'll call this one Mr. Jiggle. And that's what it is. And I want to save them as JPEG. Please do save them as JPEG, and I'll explain that in the classroom why you have to save that as a JPEG. So you press on the save, and then you got this over here. You go right to the bottom, and it says, oh, which part you want to see? You want to view from the camera. That's, you got to make sure, like, you get all these views, but I want them from the camera, and you just press on the render. When you press on the render, what it's going to do is that actually, well, I'll need to fix some stuff. Obviously, it's not looking really good. But you can see that it's going to make some JPEGs on everything. And after that, you can take these JPEG and put them all together into a different program or into 3ds Max. So we're not going to look at that for right now for 12 minutes. I'll pause this video, and I'll come back when it's all done. And obviously, yes, I'm going to change this, but just to show you how to render your stuff. Okay, so now it's basically done. I stopped it because there's so much things I need to fix. I'm trying to make this video so that you can see where you have to press and all those little clicks and all those little buttons, how to set them up and all this kind of stuff. But obviously I'll show you what I mean by that. It's just that there's some part that, wow, this stage is actually glass. You'll see later on. So now that you have done, you got your rendering. I'll go to my documents over here. And I'll go to my Data D drive. Remember, you have to go to the Data D drive, Terio, 3ds Max, render output, and you get all those pictures. As you can see, this is very ugly pictures. As you can see, I'm going to show you just one example over here, and just like, hopefully it's not going to take too long, but preview. So, very reflective back floor. These materials are way too big. I wanted to make it like more spotly, and this is really over brightened. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix that later on, but just to show you very quickly, so for those of you who are going to be ready, is that you get your pictures over here. Now what you do is that you can go into Premiere or After Effects and add some stuff, but maybe the best thing to do is just that you go into the rendering, and it says video post over here. So you want to do a video out of those pictures. Now the reason why we use the video and the JPEG is because if you happen to have a corrupted project, it will stop at the JPEG, and then you can go back in and refix those from rendering from that part. If you do a rendering from the video right away and it corrupts, then you have to start all over again. And sometimes you see like this one, it was going to go and take about maybe half an hour to just render this little thing, and it's really crappy. Okay, so I'll just go into the video post to show you. So you click onto this, and obviously I'm going to go in here, and there's already something done in here. I'll delete that. You shouldn't, whoops, undo. I'll delete this guys over here. Yes. So you should only get this part over here. Okay. So what you want to do is that you want to go and get the input. So add image input events. Click onto that. You go and find those when it says like the render output. You see 3ds Max. That's the reason why we use those default folders, because it goes directly to that one. You click on the first one. The main thing is that you want to make sure that you see sequence. Click on that option. So now the computer knows that, oh, 001, there's multiple of 001, 2, 3, and 4, keeps on going. So that's what you want to do. And then this file format is just like, it's going to take it. So you press open. 0 to 104, yes, there's only 104 frames that I did. And it looked too bad that I stopped it. It's supposed to be 240 over here. This is where you're going to check, okay? If you do a different scene, like as I showed you before, it says like, okay, you want to have a different cameras, I'll show that later on. So I'll press OK, and then yeah, I'll press OK. So this is the input. Now you want to have an output. So you click onto this guy, which it says Add Image Output Event. Click onto this, you say your file. I'll put it in the same render output, but I'm going to say Mr. Jiggle, and Mr. Jiggle, okay? That's all I'm going to do. And then we click out, and it says all format. No, I want it to be an AVI or QuickTime Movies. I want to make a movie QuickTime file. I much prefer this one. Click onto that, and you press onto save. When you press on to save, there'll be a pop-up menu that's going to come in, and those are the codec. Usually you just use the default codecs. It should be okay. So animation, file frames, least for now, because we just want to keep that very simple, fast. Press OK, and then press OK. Now you got the input, the output. Now just send it to render. Execute sequence. Click onto this, and make sure that, oh, it's 0 to 104 pictures. There you go. So you got that part. Press on the render, and then it's going to do that really quick, as you can see. And then it should take not too long. Okay, now it's done. Now if I go to my folder, I go right to the bottom. You should have, oops, you're at the top. Oh, there it is, at the top. So you got a video, okay? That's how you do it.